If ever there was a sordid reminder that climate change is real, one need only consider the anxiety of those here at home bracing for what fury Hurricane Fiona will unleash. And this particularly after blasting the neighboring Turks and Caicos Islands as a Category 3 and ripping through Puerto Rico, leaving death and destruction there and in the Dominican Republic. The sheer reality of it all, the reason leaders of countries bearing the brunt of such catastrophes continue to make a case for more funding. The latest opportunity presenting itself at a UN General Assembly panel discussion, and among the speakers, the Prime Minister. A problem of our making, and central to comprehensively addressing climate change is money. And lots of it. The reality, though, is that the countries that can't afford to cough up the funds to urgently fight this issue are not prepared to. And those who are most impacted, well, just can't. But as Prime Minister, the Honourable Philip Davis candidly shared with the United Nations General Assembly panel, climate change is no longer just a threat, but a crisis, and one that must be addressed. That said, here's what's really needed to make countries like the Bahamas more resilient.
First of all pledges, all what I call committers, who promise that they're going to make available the monies that they said. For example, in 2015, it's supposed to be $100 billion each year. None of it has realized to date. We who are most vulnerable are pledge fatigued. We need action, and we need to find ways and means to have the industrialized world, who have been countries who have been burning fossil fuel for centuries, that have this cloud of carbon in the air. We need it. Time for us to let them pay the bill.
Now, by the World Bank's calculation, some $90 trillion is needed by the year 2030. The question then, is the World Bank doing enough? While there is the argument that it is not, World Bank President David Malpass countered that some of the criticisms leveled against the Washington-based organization are unfounded.
They may not know what the World Bank is doing. Some of them are simply not involved in the efforts that are going on to actually have an impact. People fly to meetings and then make pledges, and then they're gone. And so I really think it might be useful if I just go through what the World Bank is doing. This has been a huge effort for the bank under my leadership. The climate financing from the World Bank has grown rapidly.
Sister institution to the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, has also been scolded for merely talking a good game, but limited in terms of what it can get done. But its managing director, Kristalina Georgieva, insists it's a significant institution in climate change.
How much money do we have in climate action? You gave the number, 350 billion. How much more we need on an annual basis? 5 to 10 times more. This money, the difference between what is needed and what we are getting, not going to be fixed by our 40 billion unless this 40 billion is directed to remove barriers for private investment in emerging markets and developing economies on a scale. So I don't want you to hold us accountable for how much money we spend. You have to hold us accountable. What is the leverage impact of this money?
The Prime Minister is expected to address the UN General Assembly later this week. For the ZNS News Network, I'm Makush Lopinder.